He becomes the Super Saiyan of the Marvel Universe. After being the final member of the Nova Corp, he is awakened by a pressure in his head. He starts to hear a voice, and close by, he hears bugs chewing. They're eating what's left of his partners. Revenge boils up, and he goes in brazenly without thinking. If he can't get closure, he'll get payback instead. As the computer in his head tells him to stop and desist, he's caught off guard and gets knocked back. As he slowly gets up, the hungry bugs try to jump on him and take him limb from limb. And his computer engages his thrusters and gets him out of there. He notices he starts to feel a lot better as the computer pumped endorphins into him and telling him that was foolish. You could have risked the whole entire Nova consciousness. He arrives to a mysterious cavern. The voice in his head the whole time was the world mind, and it begins to explain to Richard that not only is he valuable, but he is the only thing left of the Xandarian culture. But as long as he survives, everything will be intact, and they have one weapon left. The Nova Force, and it is important that it doesn't land in the hands of the enemy, as Richard Rider is the final Nova, so he will be downloaded with the Nova Force. But yet, he tells Warmind no. He's uncomfortable because the voice that he has is sounding like his dad, and he knows the burden what the Nova Force can do, and it can drive a man insane. He's witnessed it firsthand, and the world mind is curious of why he keeps calling him father, and Richard just brushes it off. He remembers Garathan, Sal. He was the one who had the Nova Force, and it drove him insane. But this time it will be different. They will mitigate his psychological damage and upgrade his suit, and they don't have a lot of time as the enemy gets closer and closer. And he says, do it before I change my mind. And the transformation is painful, but he's able to get through to the other side. And he takes off like a man on a mission. He goes head first into the line of fire, taking down ship after ship. But what he doesn't realize is that the Nova Force is slowly consuming him, but all he can think about is revenge. He takes down an entire fleet that took down Xandar, but he alerts Annihilation. The world mind told him that he reached his limits, but all he can think about is his survival skill. But he hears a voice in the wind. It is Drax.